guys, what's up? Dark Visor here. Been a crazy week and weekend, as I've told you guys several times before. But today we're gonna kind of go over the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I've been to see it twice now, back-to-back nights. I plan to go see it again next week, and I can honestly say it was a good movie. As a fan of the series, something about me is that I've been growing up with the Sonic series for about Sonic started about 91, I believe. I was born, about 30 years of my life. I've been living 30 years. I've basically been following this series since it started stateside, I followed the comics. I followed the little search and find books that came out in the early 90s. I followed the books, novels. I followed the cartoon shows, both the comedy one and the more action-oriented one. I put myself through Sonic Underground. God, that show was horrible. I played all the games since I was little, from Sega Genesis to Game Gear to the Saturn to Dreamcast. Saturn didn't really have anything. 32X, Knuckles Chaotix. I played the GameCube game, Sonic Adventure 2, Battle when it came out. I played Sonic 06. I bought that 3 times. Basically, I bought every Sonic game since they've come out stateside. I've bought, like I said, ties, shoes. I'm a huge Sonic fan. Growing up in high school, middle school, back in my town, I was known as probably the biggest Sonic fanboy, or what we would call a Sonic fanboy nowadays. That I just love Sonic. Everything Sonic I loved. My friends would always refer to me when it came to new game. Should they buy it? Wait. I just love Sonic ever since I was little. He's hit highs and lows. The comics, had the whole issue of Ken messing up the whole Knuckles story and everything. But thankfully, with that whole outcome, we did get IDW Comics. I don't think he was the onset of it, but I'm enjoying the new comic series. It's pretty fun. It's just been a wild ride with Sonic, and this movie was actually really fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's no Oscar winner, I don't think, or anything like that. But I don't really care about the Oscars or the Grammys or the whatever, anything else they come out with nowadays. I have some friends that sit at home saying, don't spoil the Academy or the Oscars for me. I'm like, I don't go to movies to see, there's no certain stars I go to movies to see. Jim Carrey, of course, he was, when I was growing up, Ace Ventura and stuff, he embodies that character kind of in this movie, and I like that. But there's not really, I don't base movies based on who's in it, like actor-wise, I was going to see this movie regardless because it had Sonic in it. Jim just added that extra 90s chemistry to it, that was awesome. But I made some notes here, things I want to talk about with this review. And I wanted to do, it was tricky for me because I haven't figured out how to do it exactly, how to record myself without I could have just put just a camera, recorded this, and did it with the camera, but I don't really have a mic for the camera. So I want to use the mic I use for streams and stuff, and just record like I can do in a stream. But let's see, the first thing I want to talk about is this is basically an origin story, which is pretty neat. It's nothing tied to the games, honestly. Sonic was, not going to spoil anything into the end. Just know now, let me go ahead and say it, we're going to say big spoilers and story details to the end of this review and go from there. But this is basically an origin story, kind of where Sonic came from, and they don't spend much time on it, like where he came from, but it's still based around how he's been living life and what he's up to now. So the story skips really fast at the beginning. They kind of get a vague detail of where he came from, but it doesn't really go into detail of anything what life was like there and stuff like that. But it does do a good emphasis of giving Sonic character, something Sega hasn't been able to do for years now. And granted, not every series needs a character to have a lot of emotions and stuff, but Sega has dropped the ball a lot on good story-based stories with not knowing how to handle Sonic, One good example is Sonic Forces, because in it was written, Eggman's conquered the world, all of his friends, are struggling to survive and stuff, and Sonic, of course, is in prison, happy as day, I mean, Sega, the bad thing about Sega, they can't tell a dark story for their life, honestly. They just can't anymore, And anytime they try to add a dark element, they scoot around it so hard that you can't miss it. It's like a truck. Like Sonic Adventure 1, the people in the city when chaos floods it die. There's no way those people could have got away. Of course, Sega says, "Oh, nobody died. They all escaped that horrible flood. Drain pipes dropping out the sky, sewer pipes dropping out the sky, taxis crashing into each other. Oh, everybody lived. They escaped that giant tidal wave that literally flooded the entire city in a second. You know, Eggman blew up the moon. What would that do to the tides? I'm not. That's right there is too scientific right there. You know, it's you don't think science and stuff like that. You know, Sonic Unleashed, Eggman literally blows the planet up and splits it. I mean, people living across those fault lines had to go somewhere, you know. But like I said, Sega, and some people say that if you like this movie, you've dropped your standards. Don't believe that. Like I said, I've been following Sonic for 30 years. So if anybody knows Sonic and, you know, I mean, I'm not saying I'm like the biggest fan. I would never do that. But I'm saying I've been following the series with, like I said, I've been living 30 years. I've been following this series from day one. Not somebody that started Sonic Adventure and thinks they know the series like the back of their hand. I've been following this series since Sonic 1, and every incarnation of his character from the comics, like I said, the TV shows. So there's no straight line of, sorry, I got hair in my eye, straight line of Sonic's character. You know, this movie does great, and it shows character development. Like there's one scene where Sonic is upset, like he sees kids playing baseball. You know, Sonic in this movie is kind of like a mid-teen. He acts like a mid-teen, and he sees kids playing baseball. You know, and he's excited for it because he seems to like it a lot. You know, and at the end of the game, he sees the kids giving each other high fives. You know, the team came together and won, and they're high fiving each other. You know, and Sonic's like, man, that's awesome. And like he goes back out to the field at night and finds a spare glove, bat, all this stuff. You know, and he plays with himself. You know. Against himself and other team. When he wins, he basically wins against himself, and he tries to high five himself, but nobody's there to high five him back. And you see great development because he's like, you can see the emotion, and I'm glad they fixed this model. This model, let me go ahead and say, is just great. I still would have seen the movie with the old model, but this is great, and hopefully it sends a message to Paramount. You don't gotta make your characters look like monstrosities to get people to see it. You know, because Lord forbid they kept the old one, you know. But his facial expressions, you can see that he's hurt, that he doesn't have anybody. Because in the movie, he explains how he's been living in the town and spying on people for years, and nobody knows he's there. You know, it's one of those movies, and he comes to the conclusion like, I'm never going to have any friends. I'm never going to have anybody. He gets angry, like somebody would in that situation. And he gets so angry is when he causes the blackout, you know, that huge explosion of energy. But you can see it when he's running. You can see him getting angrier and angrier thinking about it, though. Like, he's angry that he's never going to have any friends. He's just like, I'm never going to have any friends. I'm never going to, you know, he's just getting angrier and angrier. And like I said, it leads to that explosion. He's like, oops, I've done something bad. You know, kind of like a teen would. Like, he knows what he's done is bad. And he's like, well, hopefully nobody figures it out that I did that. And, of course, that sets off Robotnik and Eggman to come after him. And that's kind of neat too. They stick to Robotnik for a while, but by the end of the film, they're sticking to Eggman. So it's like they're shifting, like in the games that went from Robotnik in America to Eggman by the end. Let's see. The human characters are pretty neat. The main character is Tom. You know, he's pretty good, and I would hope if they come back in the sequel, which I'll discuss at the end, that they can explore his character more. He's pretty funny. Like every scene he was in felt funny. He was good. I liked his character a lot. And Sonic calls him the Donut Lord in the film because he eats donuts and he talks to him, which is kind of funny. And he's a pretty good character. I would hope they flesh him out a little bit more because unlike Chris Thorndike, which I think is the worst thing in this series in the world, I mean, I'd rather play Sonic 06 the rest of my life than have to watch Chris anymore. But he's actually a good character. He's actually funny. He has good chemistry with Sonic. And it takes him a while to get used to Sonic in the movie. You can tell I would like for him to act more with Sonic in the future. Like, they had good chemistry, but he didn't really feel just like, you know, how to say, it was like, by the end, it was better. At the beginning, he just didn't feel like, they didn't feel on tune too much. By the end, it's when things really kicked off with both of them. His wife was actually really neat. Her name was Maddie. And a little interracial couple, which is kind of neat because it was funny because they made her act. Her family was just like I would expect my family to act. You know, like a typical, no offense, which I mean I could care less if somebody does, like a typical like kind of a hardcore black family would act. She like when she got there was one scene when she got angry, and her face was something that my cousins do when they get angry. She had that look like you're gonna get slapped in a second here. And her sister was hilarious. Like there's a scene where her sister's arguing with her to divorce Tom. Like the entire film, she doesn't like Tom. She hates Tom, and you know, it's just the chemistry. You have to see it to understand. It's just her yelling. It's just like, man, that's just like my family, you know, in a way, or at least some of my family. It was good. The human characters were good. Jim Carrey, like I said, he was Eggman. Eggman was hand down great in this film. I hope in the second one he's more crazy and like twisted evil. And this one he was evil enough. He was just evil enough, but he was still more comedy based. Like he was still funny. He threw out some good threats and stuff to Tom. Him and Tom got along great. I love the arguments. There's one line in the movie that had people laughing like crazy. It was about he was making fun of Tom about being fed from his mom with formula and stuff. I won't say what that line was, but my theater rolled out laughing when he said that. You know, pretty good. There was only 2 lines of cursing in this film, and that ties to Eggman. Like they said hell twice, I think. And one of those hells led to Tom saying, "You son of a," and then he gets hit in the stomach, you know. So nothing just crazy. Not that cursing's needed in movies to make it good. It was just kind of a neat little add-in because they didn't felt just shoved in. They actually felt like something somebody would say in that situation, kind of like, what the hell is going, like, what do you, like, it actually fit instead of saying what the heck, you know, it just fit better. But like I said, Jim was a good Eggman, and by the end of the film, you could tell like he was twisting more into like the game Eggman sort of, and in the spoilers, I'll explain that more, but his acting was just so great. Like you see him dancing in this repeated scene right here. Just that whole, it was just so fun to see Eggman like that, you know. It was fun. He made the character hilarious, and not hilarious stupid in a way. Like he wasn't a bumbling idiot. He was still evil, but he was just Ace Ventura if he turned to robotic, you know. It was great. Just kicked my mic. Sorry about that. It was great. He made Eggman, and like his mechs were nothing too threatening in this film. I'm expecting if they make a sequel, he'll have more of his old badniks, but in this one they were pretty fun. You know, they were decent. You know, decent little monstrosities. There was only one big threat, and that's a tank you see in the film. You know, and it was pretty fun because the tank had like it had 5 forms, which was fun. You know, because everybody in the theater kept laughing and stuff because when they beat one form at the tank, it would just transform into something else, and it was just fun to watch it go through those cycles, you know. That was kind of neat. But like I said, the threat didn't last long. I think that entire fight sequence played out in under like maybe 15 minutes. The final mech, the jet, again, nothing too threatening because it was literally just a giant chase scene for the entire end of the film, and that wasn't nothing too crazy. It was fun, but it was literally just a chase until like the final act, which I'll get into in a second. I want to go through everything. Like I said, Tom and Maddie, his wife, they were good characters, and I hope they come back in a future film. Again, spoilers. This is more of a spoiler thing I want to go through, you know. Like I said, Jim sold Eggman. Let's see. There were a lot of call-outs to fans of the games. Like, there's one scene where Eggman's playing around with the sonic quill he finds, you know, to get the energy, like this scene right here, and he knocks the power out. But what leads to that is you see a fuse box he opens, and it has a label that says Badniks in it. And there's little cues and call-outs to Sonic fans throughout this entire film, and it's just amazing. From the rings to the opening logo, there is a very well-known Sonic meme that made me actually bust out laughing in the film. Now, not rude laughing, like I didn't just like out loud just start screaming, but it was when you see it, you will know where it came from. You know, it's how they got the legend of the Blue Devil in Green Hills, the town that Sonic lives in. Hilarious. And Green Hills reminds me of my hometown. It's literally like a little small town that Tom patrols and Sonic lives in, which is a callback again to Green Hill Zone, which is neat. It's just called Green Hills, but it's like reminds me of my town. It's literally a small town knit community, and everybody knows you. It was great, and like I said, little call outs like that throughout the entire film. There were not many musical cues. Some fans have complained about that, but I didn't mind not having the game music just littered throughout the film. I mean, that did not take away from the film for me. Not having just game music just stuck anywhere, like Live and Learn and stuff like that wouldn't make sense in this film. Green Hill Zone, maybe. There wasn't anything else. I mean, you probably could have stuck like some Sonic Unleashed tunes like through the world chase scenes and stuff, but it wasn't needed, honestly. The film didn't lose anything from not having it. But there were a few game teases in it. There was like a piano score of Green Hills at the end that was just amazing. Eggman, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but they said there wasn't really any theme for him. If you notice, I believe his music was actually his let me see if I can find it. I want to say his music literally was his Sonic Adventure, the comedy version. It was that music. It was the original music of that TV show, I think. So actually, let's go here and try to find that real quick. Gotta open this on YouTube real quick. I don't know why I hit play on that. You know better. Let me see. What was that show called? That was. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Yes. I think in the movie, if you listen and when the Blu-ray comes out, what I'll do is find the scenes he showed up in. I believe, and I'll see it again next week actually, hopefully. I believe his theme was in that. It was like a light mix. It wasn't straight on a parody of it, but it had the tone of that theme song. I believe he showed up. It was just a more sinister, short version of it. I really do think that was it though. But like I said, it was just an overall good movie. I give it a as a Sonic fan, I want to give it a 9. And as a non-Sonic fan, I'd give it a 8. And as a Sonic fan, it pushes it up to a 9 for me because it was just everything I've wanted in a Sonic film since I was little. Sure, they could have had like chaos, all that crap, but as a beginning film, perfect for me. I loved it. And if you're not a Sonic fan, you know, I'd go see this once as a non-Sonic fan. But the thing about it was, I enjoyed it, you know. And of course, we had people leave when the movie ended, you know, and they missed some good stuff. But the thing about the film, like I said with the Oscars earlier, I don't care about, because I went to this film and I left happy. Like, I went to this film, I felt good for the entire film. I felt bad it was over, but I actually had fun watching it. Like, I actually left with a smile on my face, and just thinking about it in my car, I actually felt a shiver. Like, I like this. Like, when I left Star Wars, like the last 2 Star Wars movies, I left upset and confused. You know, like, what the heck was that mess? That was just stupid. You know, they were still decent films, but episode 8 and 9 were just horrible for me. Just dumb. 7 was good. 8 and 9 just threw everything in the trash bin for me. This movie I actually left happy with as a Sonic fan. I liked this. This was fun. This was neat. And I'm looking forward to the future of it. You know, this was a good movie. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Hate when you can feel a sneeze coming on, and you just have to sneeze. That's pretty much everything about the movie. Like I said, it's a good, fun movie as a Sonic fan. Definitely worth seeing. But so yeah, 9 out of 10 as a Sonic fan. Go see it if you're a Sonic fan. 8 out of 10 if you're not. And if you're one of those Sonic fans that, I mean, think that Generations had a good story or something, you're not gonna like this. Maybe, I don't know. I've seen somebody online saying, like I said, there was some fan online saying he used his excuse as well. I make Sonic YouTube videos and stuff like this, so I mean, that's just my opinion. But I make these videos, so I love Sonic, you know, and you're lowering your standards if you like this film, and I have to say that's crap. And like I said, I've been following Sonic for like, cause Sonic's about 20. It's going on close to his 30th anniversary almost. I've been following Sonic, like I said, I'm 30 years old. I've been following him since I was born, basically. And this is everything and more that I could want in a Sonic film. This was fun for me. I loved it, like I said. And yeah, it was fun. But anyway, that's what I think, guys. So we're about to jump into spoilers. Like literally, we're going to go into it. I'm going to give like a short pause. So if you don't want to spoiler talks and you don't want to know about details in the movies and what could come next, go ahead and just leave now and look forward to my next video. But if not, I hate my eyelashes. Stick around because I'm about to go into spoilers. So give you a few seconds, you know, and you know, I'll start up in a second. Stick my pocket knife. All right, time for spoilers. Okay, so basically, like I said, this is an origin film, and it starts off with Sonic's mom, Longclaw, I believe her name was. I've seen it twice. I keep forgetting. It's like Longclaw. She's an owl, and they don't spend much time on where Sonic's from. Like, you know, it's not Mobius. My God, I saw some kid on Twitter, and nothing against a kid. I'm just saying, he's like, I wish they spent more time on Mobius. I'm like, dude, it's not Mobius. That was something brought up in the comics. Don't think it's not Mobius. The comics, even my sister thought that, you know, that's fine. The comics and the game verse don't unite like that, you know, they're not the same thing, so it's not Mobius. But in this world, every planet is kind of separated. It's not like one unified world that it plays off in. Like, okay, Mushroom Hills is in this movie, but it's its own separate world. It's not like on Angel Island. Like, everything's kind of separated, you know, into their own worlds. Like, they're actual zones separate from each other. It's not like a unified world. Because like in, what was it? Because you know, it was like Sonic Adventure 3, how you go from Carnival Zone to, oh my God, Carnival Zone to Ice Cap. And it's literally a transition, you know, you go straight to it. There's no warp ring. This is more like Sonic OVA, where the warp rings led to different areas. Like, it was just separate, you know, it's hard to explain. They were separate worlds. It's like Earth, Mars. They're their own planets, basically. But they spend like maybe all of 6 minutes on that planet. Like, it shows Sonic as a kid. It shows his adoptive mom, because we don't know where he came from still. And as soon as he shows up to her, he's like, I've been running around and stuff, you know, having fun. I brought you a flower. A kitten has attacked them because they want his power, you know. And they attack his home. And she escapes with Sonic. She gets shot with one arrow. Like, they shoot her in the chest with the arrow. And it doesn't seem to really phase her. Like, she just gets hit. And she gets right back up. She's like, oh, okay, I got smacked the arrow. Right back up. Sonic, you gotta leave, you know. And she gives him his rings, which, unlike in the games, he can still take hits and stuff, but his rings in this are warp rings, basically. And she gives him a whole packet of them. And I'm not sure if he has, like, if they can be used more than once. They don't really go into that. He has a ton, though. And she's like, you just keep running. Just run away if you find trouble. And she sends him to Earth, our planet, basically. And she stays back to keep the kittens from getting to him. But I don't have the feeling she died. It didn't have that feeling. Like, I'm sure she fought them off. It did not have a kill feeling to me in that scene. And of course, Sonic tried to save her as a kid, but he couldn't do anything. He just left. And that's it. The film skips ahead 10 years. And it goes to what he's been doing. And he's basically been having the time of his life, he says. It shows he has this little cave, man cave, basically, with like bean bags. He has comics. You know, he's doing decent for himself, you know. His little shoes are worn out, though. He's been making do with what he has. But he's been living a pretty good life, he looks like. And the thing is, though, he's super depressed, though. And he goes into this whole spiel about how he knows the town people because, like I said, it's a small town. And he knows everybody in the town. It's just as they don't know him. But he's still depressed because he doesn't know anybody, and it hurts him, you know. As I said earlier, there's a scene where he's playing baseball and he sees little kids playing, and he wants to have a friend so bad that he plays against himself, and he tries to high five himself. And when nobody's there to hit him back, he's just like, you can see he just looks around like, where's the crowd for me? Like, where are my friends? And it's just like, and you can see it in his face. That the expression is so good. He's just like, I'm just gonna be alone forever. I mean, that's just how it's gonna be for me forever, for the rest of my life. Always alone. And he starts running in around the bases, you know. And he's angry though. He's not like he's running because he's angry, and he keeps going faster and faster and faster. And the faster he gets, the angrier you can see his face getting. Like, you can see him just getting angry at this thought that he's never gonna have a friend. And what happens is he gets so fast that he causes basically an EMP wave, a huge one at that. And it shuts off all the power in Green Hills. And they say the whole East Coast, but they don't go into detail about that. And he's like, oops, I've done a bad thing. And from that, Eggman comes into play. Now, Tom is around, but he hasn't really done anything yet. It kind of goes into Tom and his wife. You know, he becomes a cop in San Francisco because he wants to be a real cop. Like, Green Hills, like I said, it's a small town. Their worst threat is like animals jaywalking or something, you know, little goofy stuff. But he wants to be a real cop. And so, you know, he doesn't really come to act just yet, but Eggman comes to town, and he comes to, actually, let me do like Sonic and Luke back a little bit. Tom is in the film, and Sonic likes goofing around with him, like, okay, there's a speed trap, and Tom's at it, and what Sonic does every now and again, he'll run by it to set the score on it, you know, to see how fast he's going. Tom thinks it's a malfunction, but Sonic's kind of just having fun, but he drops the quill after doing this. After the baseball scene, though, like I said, the quill is glowing. Like, when Sonic uses his super speed, he turns, like, his whole body kind of glows blue and his eyes glow blue. And Tom has a quill. The quill glows blue also. Like, any parts of him that have been shed glow. And of course, Tom doesn't know what this means, and so just goes about his day. He's like, what is this glowing? What is this? What's happening right here? And of course, it's Sonic's fault. And about this time, Eggman comes into play, or Robotnik as they call him early on. And, you know, the government doesn't want to send him, but they have to because he's like the best one for this job. And like I said, Jim Carrey is great for character, and he sends out his little egg drones to track Sonic down. He finds him within like literally 5 seconds. Like, I don't understand how the army couldn't do that, you know, because he sends the egg drones out, and literally within like 5 seconds, they find a footprint of Sonic. And he's like, I found him. I know how tall he is. I know how much he weighs. Boom, I'm good. I'm like, well, dang, man. So this leads to Eggman finding Tom's house. And like I said, Tom and Eggman have good banter back and forth. And Eggman's trying to find Sonic. Of course, this leads to, you know, Sonic is hiding out in the attic because Tom's trying to help Sonic. Like I said, Tom wants to help somebody, like real life situation. And Sonic tells him, like, hey, my life is depending on you, basically. And Tom's like, okay, even though you're this weird alien I just met, I'm going to help you, you know, because Sonic can't run because Sonic got tranquilized, you know. Which is pretty fun. And I don't want to spoil it because what I'm doing, which I'm noticing, which is why I keep skipping, is I'm basically trying to read out the entire movie to you in my head. I don't want to do that. Which is why I'm trying to stop. That's what I'm doing basically. I'm basically telling you line by line the movie, and I don't want to do that in case you want to see it. Let's just go into spoilers. Let's just get to the real big ones. At the end of the film, what happens is Sonic is now known to his town. His town now knows him. They know he exists because they watch him beat Eggman. Which was neat to see the townspeople come together to try to save Tom and Sonic, you know. More so Tom than Sonic. And it was Sonic. They saved Sonic. And they know he exists now, you know. And they just kind of, at the end, they're just kind of like, oh, well, I guess he's real. They're like, disperse and go back home, guys. And they're like, okay. You know, which is how my town is, basically. And so they know Sonic exists now. And at the end, what happens is Tom and Maddie allow Sonic to live with them. As kind of like a kid, they're like, it's a school night. Like, Sonic, go back to your cave. And he's like, really? I have to already? And he kind of gets upset, like, they're like, where are you going, Sonic? And he's like, well, go back to my cave. You said I have to. And what they've done, they've moved all of his stuff from his home into their home in the attic. And it looks so amazing. And Sonic is like just so touched by it, you know. And so now Sonic is living with them. Like, all of his stuff is with them. He lives with them. They're his family now, which is neat. Which is why I said I hope that Tom and Maddie come back in the future. Hopefully they expand on their character some, because they're married, but they acted more like, I mean, and that's how you want a couple, like best friends, but they didn't really do anything that was just like, they didn't really, and that's fine. I guess that's fine. Like, she kissed him maybe once, and that was it. And it was like a little cheek kiss, kinda. And she held his hand, kinda, in a couple ways. She gave him hugs and stuff. But it wasn't just full on mushy kissing and stuff like that, which is okay. They were still a couple. I'm good with that. But Sonic is now living with them. And what they did when Sonic was fighting Eggman, he kicked him into Mushroom Hills and closed the gate, so he's stuck there now. The thing is, though, Eggman still has Sonic Quill. He still has the Quill, and it still has some energy in it. So Eggman is now trapped in Sonic's world, but he has a Quill. Not Sonic's world. Great God, you gotta remember, they're not connected. He's stuck in Mushroom Hill. He has a Quill, so more than likely he's going to end up making something to get him back, or something deadly that's going to affect that world. And that was the end credit right there. But after that, there was a mid-scene credits, which a lot of people, for some reason, missed because they get up and leave. Like, they just get up and just rush at the theater. I'm like, guys, something else is coming out, you know? And I guess not everybody would know that, but a lot of people left the theater, and I felt bad for them. And some who were heading down the stairs, when it came back on, they stopped and looked, you know, because they saw it coming back on. But Tails shows up. In my theater, both times I went to go see it, people started cheering and clapping when Tails showed up. You know, when you see his little silhouette jump out the portal, everybody started clapping. I got a chill when I just did that right now. And I was like, heck yes, it's Tails. And he basically says, like, if these accurates are correct, that means he's here. You know, he says, I hope I'm not too late. And so what more than likely happened is something's happened in his world that he needs Sonic's help to solve. More than likely, it's his original world with Longclaw, because the only way Tails would know of Sonic is through Longclaw, honestly, or like the Echidna tribe. But I'm guessing it's Longclaw since they're good. Sorry. But the only way Tails would know Sonic is like through Longclaw, because as a kid, Sonic didn't know anybody. Like, literally, Longclaw was the only person he knew because he was so young. There's no way he could have known Tails. And the only way Tails could have known Sonic is if she told him, like, I sent my son here or whatever to stay safe, and Tails is looking for him to get help. That said, now, I don't want Sonic to get stuck back in the original world. Like, I like him in the human world, you know. There's a lot they could do here. And, that said, I would like Tom and Maddie to come back. Just maybe expand their characters. Their jokes were fine. But I would like for them to do more in the films, you know. Just be more helpful and more interesting. You know, they were fine, but more interesting because, like I said, Tom was good. They had a bar fight scene, which mostly was Sonic doing stuff, which was really fun. I really enjoyed that. The bar fight scene was one of the funniest parts in the film for me. But if they come back, I want them to do more. That said, Tails, if they make a sequel, I've seen some fans, younger fans especially, because you know how they get, saying like, man, that means Shadow and Knuckles and Amy and the Chaotix. I'm like, guys, no. Dial it back some. Dial it back by 1,000 times affinity, which is not really a real thing. But if they make a sequel, don't expect Shadow, don't expect Amy Rose, don't expect the Chaotix. Did I say Chaotix? Don't expect any of that kind of stuff. Don't expect Rouge in this game, and this movie. Yeah. But if they make a sequel, who's going to be in it? Eggman, Tom and Maddie, maybe some of the townspeople, maybe Knuckles. They could probably squeeze Knuckles in here. The thing with films like this, you don't want to shove too much into the film too soon. Yes, game fans will know every character from the beginning, but this is kind of like an origin movie. You want to start small and expand as you go along slowly, not just shoving in 20 characters just for the sake of it, you know. No, if they make a sequel, expect Tails, of course. Expect Tom and Maddie, maybe. Expect Eggman. Expect Longclaw. And like I said, they don't have to have a lot of screen time. Expect maybe Knuckles. Maybe Knuckles. Already Echidnas at least, because they've been introduced already. And that's it. That's all you're going to see. And for Eggman, of course, what he may do, I have a feeling, it may be too soon. He may make a middle Sonic, maybe. But I see the second film maybe being like an egg mech or something, you know, or one of his mechs from the games. And of course, that does good. And they make a third movie, then they probably would expand upon like Metal Sonic and maybe Amy Rose, something like that. I still don't see them adding like characters like Shadow or anything like that until it would have to be way down the line. Like it would have to be like a 4th or 5th movie, maybe, if this series keeps doing good. Even then though, I see this being like a 3-thing movie, and I just don't see Shadow and them sticking in right now. I just don't. Like I said, being an origin movie, I don't see them being shoved in that fast, that soon. Tails, Knuckles for the next one, maybe Metal Sonic for the third one, Amy Rose, you know. But yeah. But like I said, it's a great film regardless. As a Sonic fan, I loved it. Definitely worth going to see. Like I said, if you're a Sonic fan, go see it. It's really fun. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, yeah, it has good sequel potential. And Jim Carrey, I want him to act pretty much the same way he does here in this film, just maybe more evil, but still funny and silly, kind of like this is how Eggman should be, like evil, but still just enough funny, like not just too stupid funny. Like say, like I want him like Sonic Adventure Eggman, where he's like twisted evil, but he still has some funny lines and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I kind of went on a little bit here because, like I said, I'll work on it in the future. But like I said, for this video, what I noticed myself doing was I was trying to literally read the entire film to you guys. I want you to go see it, so you know that's why I had to stop myself, just skip to the end credit stuff. You know, a sequel will come out, I think, because this film, as I've been seeing online, has been doing great. Like money wise, I think it's up to 70 million. It's doing amazing, guys. No, it's 11 million. It's 111 million right now. It's what it's made so far. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. It's doing. I want to say it's like 10 million right now. No, it's 11 million. Somewhere in there. It's doing good though. Wait, not 11 million. It made 65 million. It's 100 million is what it's made. That's what it is. I'm sorry, guys. 100 million is what it's at so far. So it's doing good. And I hope it keeps, like I said, it keeps doing good because it's blowing everything out the water. I loved it. Amazing. I was going somewhere with this. Let me look at this logo. Where's it going with this? Think real fast. I guess that's it. Yeah. It was fun. I had like a thought I was going to go on, but I forgot what it was. Like I said, oh yeah, it's been getting good user reviews too. There are a few critics out there who have been harping on it that it's not that great. Like I think like Metacritic gave it a 45, but the user ratings are literally just unbelievably in like the 90+ range. Like I looked yesterday, it has over 100 positive reviews, and there's like maybe like 13 mixed and like 2 negative because somebody says it's not the game Sonic or whatever. But like it had like 100 positive reviews. Like fans are loving this movie. You know, like I said, it's not perfect or anything like that, but it's still fun. I had fun, and it's nice to see fans having fun. And of course, like I said, there's some critics out there who are saying, well, it's boring and all this stuff. Well, that's the thing about critics. They don't really care about the movies. They're just getting a check to write a quick review and not really pay attention to the character. Because I guarantee none of them know who Sonic is, except he was a hedgehog that came out in the 90s. You know, they probably hadn't kept up with the series. This was good. And to any haters out there, let me go ahead and say who think this story is like lowering my standards. Let me just go ahead and tell you right now, and this is for all the haters, bull crap, because Sonic hasn't had a decent story since, I guess, Sonic Adventure. Even that was pushing it. You know, Sonic has never just been like A+ writing. It's been crap. Sonic Forces was bull crap. You know, Sonic 06 was crap, but it could have been good. You know, Sonic Forces could have been good. It's just Sega drops the freaking ball every time they write some crap. The only Sonic stories lately that have been good is IDW Comics. You know, and Archie was okay, but when I look back on it as my childhood, almost all the stories involved somebody trying to conquer the kingdom, and that was boring after a while. You know, honestly, that was it. That was the entire premise of the story almost. Every time it was like some villain, like, oh, I want the kingdom or whatever. And like, but IDW Comics is actually keeping me interested. Like the zombie virus arc, amazing. You know, but anyway, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for my rambling at the end here and everything. If I do another review, I won't try to read you the movie. I just really enjoyed this film, and I was just so excited to talk to somebody about it, you know. But yeah, until next time, guys, stay pixelated. Talk to you guys later.